what I do is I end up marking on the implement's input shaft right here. I mark where the end of my PTO shaft sits. This is always going to be the same. This measurement right here is never going to change, or the position is never going to change. It's going to stay the same. You're going to use this PTO shaft is going to stay with this implement for the rest of its life, most likely, unless I mess it up. So this implement lives here. So we know that by marking where the end of this PTO shaft sits on the output shaft, or the input shaft, excuse me, on the input shaft of the implement, we know that this is never going to change. So we mark it right here, okay? Now we've got a mark. Now, the next thing, that was step one. Now we're going to move on to step two. Okay. Our next step is we're going to remove this half of the PTO shaft from the tractor. We don't need it on there anymore. We're through with that. We don't need the front put on at any time in this process until we get ready to go ahead and attach. And now you can see our mark right here on top of the output shaft, the black mark. And that's the mark we're going to measure off of. Now, okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to slide these two halves back together. Now you can see here, these two shafts, as most people will point out to you, these two shafts on both halves are the exact same length. Now what that means is when they're slid together, the larger outer shaft is slid onto the smaller shaft. They bottom out. This shaft bottoms out here. This shaft bottoms out here. They're the exact same length. That's why both halves have to be cut. So what we're going to do next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to slide these two halves together, and they've only got one way that they can fit. It's got a flat spot on this particular shaft. It's got a flat spot on it that lines up with the flat spot on this shaft. Makes it real easy to get it back together. You almost can't go wrong. So look for flat spot to flat spot. So we're going to take the smaller half, and we're going to slide it back up and bottom it out. Now, the way that I've got my jig set up right here, and it's set up just for the purpose of showing how this is done and how I do the measurement. Okay, if you'll notice here, the jig that I made up, and like I said, this is strictly for visual purposes only. You don't have to do this. There's no need for it. This is this attaches to the input shaft on the implement. This attaches to the output shaft on the tractor. Now we know that here that this is our measurement from inside block or into inside block. We know exactly what that is. The easiest way I found to do this is we're going to write this down. Anything can happen. You can take a measurement and it gets jumbled in your head. Any number of things can happen. Somebody comes up and talks to you, phone rings. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a measurement, and we are 40.5 inches. Now, what we're going to do, find a place that you can write on a piece of plywood, anything. We're going to write 40.5. We want to make sure we know this measurement. We don't forget it. So that's 40.5. So we got 40.5. That's our overall length right now of our new drive shaft. Yours could be anything. It just depends on what they shipped it with. So that's our first measurement that we've got to take that's of importance, 40.5. We've got it written down. We're not going to forget it, so we're good there. The next measurement we've got to take, we're going to take that over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to measure from our mark right here on this mark right here that we made on the input shaft of our implement, and we're going to measure over to, let me get some more light on that, and we're going to measure over to the tip end of our output shaft on the tractor. This is our driven point on the output shaft. I don't care where this indent is. That has nothing to do with any way that we're measuring. Like I said, this is a totally different way to measure, and it's a lot simpler than having to worry about measuring from indent to indent. Okay, now all we're going to do, we're going to put the end of our tape over here on the marker, the black mark that we made with a marker on the input shaft of our implement. and we're going to come measure over to the back end of our output shaft. Now, we have a couple of choices, a couple of things that we can do here. We can see that it's 38 inches from our mark that we made on the input shaft over to the very end right here. Now, a lot of people get hung up on 1 inch or 2 inch. This measurement right here, the length of this shaft, can be just about anything that you really want it to be. It doesn't really matter. As long as in the very, very center of this shaft that we have 6 inches, which is the industry standard for the overlap. 6 inches is going to make sure that when this is fully raised or fully dropped, the shaft itself is not going to come apart. It's going to prevent any wobbling, and it's going to keep the shaft in a balanced state. So we know we have 38 inches here. Now, I know I want at least a couple of inches on mine. I don't like just going 1 inch. I think I'm going to cut mine at 36 inches. That's going to give me 2 inches from the length of my shaft on the total length. It's going to give me 36 inches, which will give me 2 inches of clearance for it to fit down here on this shaft. I'll have 2 inches that I don't have to worry about it hitting the output shaft as I'm putting it on. One of the things that you're going to want to keep in mind here is if you have an extremely short shaft, you may want to only go about 1 inch, because what's going to happen on extremely short PTO shafts, that center 6-inch measurement is going to be cut down considerably. And you want to have as much overlap between these two shafts as what you can possibly get. So, extremely short shaft, you may want to keep that 1 inch measurement in between the end of the tractor's output shaft to the end of the PTO shaft that we're trying to slide on there. That'll give you plenty of room. So just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing that we've got to keep in mind is we've got a quick hitch. The quick hitch is going to give us about 4 additional inches that the person that's going to hook it directly up to the top link and to the 2 lift arms is not going to have. Basically, their drive shaft's going to be 4 inches shorter. It's not going to make any difference when taking the measurement, but just remember that when you have your quick hitch on, you're going to be about 4 inches longer, or 4 inches further out from the tractor, which means that that PTO shaft is going to have to slide out a little bit further. And the same works in the opposite. If you have it set up for your quick hitch and you decide, I don't want to use my quick hitch today, I'm going to hook it up directly to the tractor, it may be too long still, because you're cut for this extra measurement in between the 2 pins down here, which is about 4 inches. So just remember, depending on how you use it, you're going to gain or you're going to lose that. If you're going to use your quick hitch on this implement all the time, you don't have to have a second thought about it. You're in good shape. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Okay, this is step 4. Now, step 4 is going to be the measurement that I want my shaft to be, my final length from this end of the shaft, which is our mark on the output shaft of the implement, and the very, very end right here that's got to have the clearance to go over the output shaft on the tractor. I know, I just said over there I wanted 36 inches. So, as like I said, it can be about just about anything I want to. If I've got a long shaft, as long as I'm pretty close to 6 inches, right in here in the center, if I'm pretty close to 6 inches in the center of overlap, this measurement right here really doesn't make any difference. I could have 4, 5, 6 inches clearance out here before it slides up and actually is able to attach and slide onto our output shaft, the PTO output shaft on the tractor itself. But remember, we're going 2 inches to make it real easy. So remember, overall length from here to here, 40.5 inches. And we decided a while ago that we wanted to go 36 inches. We want to go 36 inches on our total length of shaft. Like I said, indent doesn't matter. We're not measuring that way. This is totally different. Okay, this, in between this block and this block, I've already set it up. It's exactly 36 inches. Now, if you'll remember right here, this is the very end of our shaft. I put a block over here to represent the same measurement here. And then I've got a block here, and this is our 36. Now, What makes this so simple, if you mark this out on a table, it makes it real simple. We've got overall length, the measurement. We've got the measurement that we've got to have in the end for it to fit onto the tractor and the implement. So now we're going to take the inside of this block or this measurement here, both of these measurements, and we're going to see that we have 4.5 inches. Now, the reason why we do it this way, nobody's going to know that you're double checking yourself. This just double checks your math and makes sure that you're not getting a wrong measurement, that you're not subtracting wrong. So it just makes it really easy. It's a double check. These shafts are expensive, and we want to prevent cutting too much off and making the shaft too short. We make it too long, we can still cut it. We make it too short, we ruin the shaft, and pretty much it probably isn't going to fit any other implement that we have. We're going to separate the two halves. So we'll take this off here, and we're going to slide the two halves apart. And try to keep our fingers out of it so we don't smash them. Okay, we're going to set these down. The next measurement that we're going to do, we're going to mark our shaft. We know for a fact that we've got to have 4.5 inches come off of it. So this is our inner shaft. We're going to take it, we're going to mark it 4.5 inches. This is where we're going to cut it. 4.5 inches there, and 4.5 inches here. Now let me say this, if your cut is angled, if one side's a little shorter than the other, that's not going to make that much difference. Now you don't want it to be a whole lot shorter, or it's going to throw the shaft pretty much out of balance, and you don't want that. That's why these have to be cut pretty much at equal. Now, if you cut this at an angle, nobody's going to see it but you, nobody's going to know it but you, no big deal. Don't worry about it. So if we make a slightly angled cut, things could go a lot worse. We could do a lot worse. So, okay, we've got this set up. We've got it set up on our table here. On our chop saw. We're going to go ahead and cut this end off. I'll go ahead and I'll cut the second side off. Okay, cut number one. We're going to set this one aside. Okay. Both halves are cut. While I've got that up here, I think I'm going to go ahead and make my cuts on my safety shield. We're going to do the same that we did with the PTO shafts themselves, and I think I'm going to use a white marker so I can see this a little bit better. And we're going to take 4.5 inches off of each of these. Measure 4.5. I'm going to measure 4.5 here. Chop saw makes this so much nicer to cut. If you don't have one though, hacksaw, bandsaw, small bandsaw if you have it, just about any tool that you have, a grinder with a cutoff wheel, a lot of things you can do here. So. Yeah, for the most part, we pretty much got everything finished that we need to do. The next thing we're going to do here, we're going to take a file, and in this case I'm using a rat tail file, and I'm going to deburr. I'm going to take this and deburr the insides of these shafts. We don't want any burrs in there. Okay, we've got our PTO shaft together. Let's go put it on the tractor. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and hook up the implement side of our PTO shaft. We're going to take this, get it started up on our shaft here. Okay, I'm going to use a piece of chain to help hold this up. Now, we can pull this in. Make sure that it's locked in place. This is actually a lot easier with those gloves on. Gonna take our chain off that's holding it here. We're gonna bring this forward. Okay, we're on the PTO shaft. We're gonna slide back the collar. This is where a quick connector would be handy. And what makes this bad is my hands are greasy. There we go. We're tied in. We've now got a PTO shaft on our tractor. We can now use our implement. Okay, there we go. This is about the easiest way that I know to do it. We're all back on there. All we got to do is hook on our safety chain to prevent that protective cover from turning. And we're through. This was actually a very, very simple, easy project to do. I need to put the cover back over the top of the rear cardan joint. But I appreciate you being along. And if you've got a better way of doing this, let me know. Let me see it. Like I said, I've seen most of the videos on YouTube. Some of them, like I said, I'm like scratching my head. Some of them, they're okay. They work. It's a way to do it, and I'm not going to knock them. But for me, this is by far the easiest way to do it. I just don't know if there's an easier way. But anyway, we're all hooked up now. We're ready to go. This PTO shaft will live here forever on this implement, most likely. And I appreciate you guys watching. If you've got an easier way to do this, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear if you've ever had trouble cutting your PTO shaft. Let me know in the comments. And if anything, just say hello, and I'd appreciate that. If you like this kind of content, come back. We're going to keep producing more end of it. But anyway, I hope you come back. I enjoyed you being here. Remember, buckle up, ROPS up. The life it saved may be yours. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. See you then.